Today's episode is sponsored by Raul Rodriguez Law.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Leija Lounge. Today we have something planned that's really fun. We're going to go over some of the best rounds that we've ever seen in boxing. Since we're a boxing family, this is what we know. We haven't really done any of this where we commentated on fights that we've seen or classic fights, but right now we're watching, Hearns taking on Marvin Hagler, and this is called The War, right? This is a three-round war.
That's described as the best 3 rounds in boxing. And that's you watch the 3 rounds. It was and it is. I still think that this was a war for 3 rounds.
Did you see this fight live? Like I
saw this fight live. Yeah.
Really?
I can't remember 80 something.
What was the hype like leading into this? Like what were they saying to each other?
It was. I mean, they weren't talking bad about each other, not so much, but just the preparation for the fight. Both of them were just completely zoning in for the fight, and Marvin Hagler just always ultimate professional, and Hearns as well. But Marvin Hagler just had something he wanted to prove, and he's just an incredible guy. And now, one thing that I got to meet him and become friends with him, he and his wife. When we started going to the Hall of Fame in New York, he was always there. The nicest guy in the world. Always, we called each other after that every once in a while to say hi. But just an incredible guy.
What would you say, like, these fighters, right, like back in the day, who would they be like right now? Like, who would they be most like?
You know what? Watching them, I think of Juan Manuel Marquez, Pacquiao, Canelo type guy. Just not gonna stop, gonna keep coming forward. You hit me 4 or 5 times, I'm gonna hit you 10 times. That type of guy, and that's the fighters I see now that are like them.
This is the first round we're watching right here, right? I believe this is the first round.
That's the first round.
Yeah, it's the first round, and you can see where Hearns busted up Hagler just with his straight right hands and hooks. Hagler's busted up, but he never stopped. This is like a real life Rocky fight.
Well, it was from the moment the opening bell, man, there was no feeling each other out. They went right at it.
Yeah, if it's young guys, people who have never seen this fight, it's the best 3 rounds of boxing ever in a fight.
They were saying there was some controversy with Hearns' legs, right? Like his leg, they were saying something must have happened, like he got a massage or something happened that kind of took his legs out,
They say that, but he was always that type of guy where he looked like a young deer out there trying to find his legs, but he was always that type of guy. He just he was long. I mean, he was tall, long legs, and just kind of not real. He didn't have real good support, but I mean, he was a strong guy. He knocked everybody out as well, but he just never had that balance.
Man, they're just going for it.
Yeah, great. Just a great
no jabs.
Yeah, no jabs.
0 jabs. They're gonna show us whole fight. Then they're going to round 2. These are the best rounds of boxing, right? So yeah. Oh no.
That is the first round.
Oh, so this is a modern one. There's 8 knockdowns here, I believe.
Yeah, this was a crazy.
So this is round 5 now, going into round 5. This is Zepeda against Branchik.
And this is a recent fight, right?
This was one, I would say,
during COVID.
During the COVID.
Yeah, you could tell it's no audience or in a studio.
But they had like 8 knockdowns in this fight or so. This
whole fight was great. Just 2 power guys not taking a step back, similar to the fight we just watched, the Hagler Hearns.
And some, we always tell people you don't want to be this type of fighter because this type of fighter has a short career. If you keep doing this, But these guys sometimes just styles make fighting. That's the style these guys had, and you can't help it but fight that way.
This is the brutal part about the COVID. First just the COVID time where there's no one in the crowd. So when you're watching this fight, you hear every single punch, every breath. Yeah. Everything.
This reminds people, like, if people haven't been in the gym and seen sparring before, this is what sparring looks like. There's no, everything. You hear everything, and that's just
quiet in the gym.
It's quiet in the gym. There's no music. There's no people yelling much, and that's kind of what COVID reminded me of, these little setups here.
Just great fights.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta see, like, to your point, there's a whole balance, right? Do you want to be a good boxer, or do you want to be exciting, right? There's a kind of a balance there.
Well, and I guess you could be exciting, like we say Mayweather. People don't like Mayweather because he's a great boxer. Sugar Ray Leonard was a great boxer, but he also slugged at the same time, so he mixed it in a little bit. But some of the great fighters ever were Willie Pep back in the 40s. Great fighter, but maybe not as exciting because people want to see the crash. We always say that, right? People want to see the crash, but you don't always want to crash with them because then you have a short career as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that will say like the whole Mayweather style is running and it's avoiding a fight, but he's really diluting his opponent. Like, if,
you
that's
try
what we
fighting
see.
him. Yeah. If it's so easy, you try fighting him. And Muhammad, that's what made people didn't like Muhammad Ali either because he moved around well and he was always sticking that jab up, but he was the greatest and he would knock you out eventually because he's gonna catch you making a mistake. But to fight backwards is so much harder than fighting forward. So I tell people, you try going backwards for 36 minutes. It's just tough to be a boxer. Yeah. It's easy. It's tougher to be a boxer than being a slugger. Anyone can do this. Anyone can not this part, but anyone can throw punches and go forward and get hit. It takes a.
Well, so watch this right here. Boom. So you got dropped. Zepeda got dropped.
Zepeda gets dropped, right?
Yeah.
He already got dropped.
Yeah, he just got dropped.
Here we go. Boom.
Ugh.
Like a lawn chair.
Folded. Jesus Christ, man.
This happens in the sport. People like to see this, but man, just having been in that ring and having fought before and all that, like you've said before, you see those things and you're like, man, how did I do that?
Yeah. It's almost, I don't know. I feel you see this happening. I was like, why would you want to do this type of thing? Like, why would you want to? But that's part of the. It's part of the sport. It happens to the fighters, and
the hard thing about this is you see guys not really recover from fights like this. They kind of are gun shy or something.
Yeah. And not only that, you see the effect that it has on boxers 10 years after they retire, 15 years after they retire, or during their career. You see it happening. You're like, man, this guy's been hit a few times.
Well, and you look at some of these old time guys who have fought in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, man, multiple times a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
15 rounders.
Yep.
That was
when
insane.
You had like Tyson fought 12 times in a year, and like Chavez did too, and like that's not cherry picking fighters. You're fighting everybody.
You're fighting everyone.
Whoever they put in front of you, man.
Now it's you fight once or twice every 2 years.
Look at that.
He was out.
He didn't even feel that punch. He didn't even see it.
That's a good little sleep you just took right there.
Wow.
Woke up from a good nap.
Yeah.
Like a little left right there. Boom.
Dang.
That's an ACL, MCL, TCL,
That's what happened.
ACL.
Yeah.
That's all of them.
And the MIC.
Yep.
All the L's.
That's what you call the good night, Irene.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a home run right there.
Yes. And he became world champion, right?
Yeah. I don't know if he was before or after.
I think he became, maybe that's what got him the world title fight. Which fight is this?
Fury Wilder?
Fury Wilder.
Which one?
This.
The third?
Oh, no, this must be the first one because I'm assuming they're going to, fourth round.
See, the whole thing
might be
here,
the last fight.
The whole thing here is, I always say Wilder was not the best boxer, right? Mm-hmm. He's not the best boxer by any means. Tyson Fury, way better boxer than Wilder, but Wilder had a really good 1-2. For some reason, that was just his go-to 1-2.
When he did throw it, he'd knock people out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was always on borrowed time.
Yeah.
Anything could happen to him if you hit him.
Is this when he complained about the costume he wore walking in? He said it was too heavy for his feet. He had
no, not
feet.
that one. He was wearing a black shorts with.
Was he?
Yeah.
That was
with a bunch of rhinestones and whatever.
Can you really blame? What you wear to the ring?
Yeah, you can, but people will make fun of you.
Well, that's what they did. They made fun of him.
I mean,
and he lost.
When you see heavyweights right now compared to the heavyweights back then, like when you see these, like this is supposed to be like one of the greatest rounds, right, in heavyweight history, whatever. What do you see? Like, what was the heavyweights like before when they were the greats, right?
Yeah, I think back then was a little bit more technique, not so wild, throwing everything down the middle. You know, just good fights. You couldn't tell a middleweight to a heavyweight back then because they fought the same type of styles. Obviously, the smaller weight classes throw a lot of punches and moving around like crazy. These guys had a lot of nice back in the day, like Ali, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton. All those guys had real good style.
But how much was Ali and Frazier weighing when they fought?
217, 220.
Yeah, they're light.
Yeah.
Fury right here is what, 260?
Yeah, that's the difference in.
Yeah.
And they're both athletic, but Fury looks like he shouldn't be able to move and do the things he does because of his body. But
Ooh,
man,
there it is right there.
He caught a great punch.
Yeah.
The 1-2. That was a 1-2, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see his brain rattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Fury, though. Whenever he went down, he always seemed like he was controlled a little bit. Like, he wasn't losing his stuff. He wasn't.
He had a fast recovery system in his brain because, man, it takes at least 30 seconds to recover.
Gypsy King right there.
Yeah, for that you could say that's just growing up fighting. Like, it ain't you growing up, going down, getting back up, and
Yeah.
A lot of people always comment too and say, "Man, the smaller guys are punching a lot. They're flying around. Yeah, they are. But these guys, I mean, they're slow. But if they hit you with that punch, like that one right there, that hurts."
And so what's happening here too is Fury's getting hit, and you get tired. When you fall down and have to get up, it takes so much energy out of you. But at the same time, Wilder is just expending all his energy by
he's
trying.
going for that knockout.
He's going for the knockout instead of setting it up. He's just going for it.
That's why they say, like, dance with who brung you, right? Like, if the jab set up that right hand, why are you abandoning the jab?
Now he's going wild, right? He's trying to land everything but the jab.
You're changing the style.
Great fight.
Great fight here.
I've never, that's just a personal opinion. I feel like I've never liked Timothy Bradley's style.
Because he got that win against Pacquiao. That's why no one likes him.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
But even then, it just seems like most guys could take advantage of that. But he's just a bruiser,
He's a good.
He could take a punch too. He never went down.
Bradley never went down in his career.
Not in this fight.
Yeah, that guy could crack too. Huh?
Yeah.
These are fights that guys usually pass over. They're gonna look at a bunch of Canelos, and they're gonna look at Shakur. They're gonna look at all the bright guys. But these are fights that are lost in time.
Good body shot.
Yeah.
This is where technique is,
And he's just setting him up with those jabs, man. Just boom, 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 right?
Pervondikov, that's what it was.
Yeah.
This was a war.
2016, I think.
You were 8 years old, Dean.
I know, just
Ooh,
good body shot.
He stood there and took it. They both did, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Man, that's a change right there. That's what we always say, like, when you're a boxer, when you're a coach or whatever, you can't make your fighter do that. They're either going to do that or they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So, James, for some of those people who are kind of watching this a little bit, and, you get up, this is 6th round. You could tell they're a little
This is
little
like
gas
this
at
is like
this point.
the 6 mile in a 10 mile, a 12 mile run.
So when fighters lean up against each other like that, is there any words that are being said to each other?
Oh no,
You're trying to breathe.
Yeah, you're just trying to figure out what to do. No, but no words at all. I mean, maybe every once in a while in the clinch. In a clinch, man, you could say something, but for the most part, if it's that type of fight, you're not saying anything. You're just trying to knock the guy out.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're on a dime, right? No one's even thinking about the ropes right here.
Yep. It's just
good overhand right.
Nobody ever told you I'm going to bite your ear off or anything.
This is kind of like mano y mano right now, right? You give me your best, I'll give you my best.
I think a lot of boxing had to compete with the rise of MMA, the rise of UFC, that brutality of it.
Yeah.
The art of boxing kind of got lost in that because you have to be entertaining now,
Yeah. What makes boxing, I think, a little bit more difficult.
Dang.
I think
The
just
counter.
the difference between the two sports, boxing and mixed martial arts, is boxing you can only be good with your hands, and that's it. Mixed martial arts, you have a chance to be good with your hands, submissions, kicks. You have 3 things to be good at, and if you're good at one of them, you could make it. Boxing, you could only be good with your hands.
Man, they look like the 2 girls I saw on the South Side going at each other. At one time.
seen a couple of
I think I saw that. I think I saw that one.
Oh, man.
He could take it though.
He
man.
could take a punch, right, Bradley?
Great round.
And
That's
Bradley
all-
can throw,
all
but I don't
action
think he
packed.
had the power, right?
Not as much,
he
but
didn't
he
have
could
the
throw,
power.
but not as much power.
Usually when you see a fight like this, when the guys are slugging like that, one of them doesn't have they either both don't have the power to knock somebody out, or they both have great chins.
Yep, and it's rare that they both have great chins. But they did, right? Both these guys did.
And with a name like Provandikov, I think you're born with a great chin.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a good.
God, look at that. What an exchange, man.
Guess which one's Provandikov?
Yeah. Jesus.
Credit to the
the guy in
matchmakers.
the black trunks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going back in time now.
Bally's.
You recognize this at all right off the bat?
Is that Aaron Barkley?
I think so.
That's what
in
I was
the red.
about to
That
say.
looks like Aaron Barkley,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Dang.
Oh.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
Come on now.
Get in there, ref. Come on, Blue.
Aaron Barkley is just a great guy, nice guy from New York, the Bronx, I believe.
And he is in the red or black?
The red.
Red.
And guys, this was a program, ABC's Wide World of Sports. Back in the day on Saturdays, they used to have
This
some
was like a
great
3:30 in the afternoon for us
Yeah.
Dang. Violence. On the weekend.
For lunch.
on the weekend. Yeah, this was regular TV back in the day.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat.
Mm-hmm.
Were these guys big at all during that time, or was it?
Oh,
Like
Aaron Barkley was huge. I didn't see the name of the
But you know,
yet. But they were both big names. But Barkley he had fought Duran and a bunch of other fighters.
That fight against Duran was amazing.
Yeah.
but I think that was a great golden era too for boxing because there was only really 3 or 4 big networks at the time, and so when ABC would host
Everybody's
boxing,
watching, yeah.
everybody was watching it, and so
Yeah.
you got exposed to some great fighters and some great names, and
something they need to bring back a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, that little.
Man, he's swinging for the
yeah,
fences.
PBC tried doing that here a few years ago.
That's the whole thing with boxing right now is you're either watching. Back in the day, you're watching Canelo, Pacquiao,
Yes.
De La Hoya, Mayweather.
Right.
Now you weren't watching anything else.
Right.
You know, and that's one thing that MMA does really well. The UFC
Yeah.
does really well is they
build
give
them
you
up.
12 fights a night. You're gonna know
Right.
24 fighters. You know?
Well, they're feeding their system, man.
yeah,
You know,
Oh,
man. Now, when you see guys like this that have good chins that are just like whatever, do you see like they're developing that during sparring, or maybe they're not getting hit, or
I think it's just something you're born with.
yeah, you can.
You could strengthen your neck and do some exercise and all.
because these are that horsehair gloves right here.
Yeah,
So,
you can't really
Oh.
take that unless you're born with that type of stuff to take those punches and keep going.
What year do you say this was? What do you think?
I don't know. It looks like a
Is this
This
in the
is early
15 round
80s,
era?
I think.
late '80s, I think.
you think?
I think so.
I'm gonna say maybe early mid '80s.
Aaron Barkley looked young there. He must have been. It must have been late '80s. Look at this.
Well, maybe so, James. It's
Jeez.
ABC World of Sports.
See,
Bally's.
that's a that would have been a disqualification nowadays. He got hit while he was on the floor.
man, they're
Got
tough.
his gloves up. I'm ready.
Aaron Barkley has big fights. I think he fought Thomas Hearns. He fought Duran, and was towards the end in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. He was homeless in New York.
Wow.
They stopped the fight.
When you see something like that happening, homeless after these big fights, man, that's just somebody not looking out after you.
Yep. But that's it's kind of the story as well.
It is.
That's famous with boxers and from rags to riches, right?
Yep.
And riches to rags.
Right.
They're all wearing Nigel Benn stuff.
Yeah.
This is Nigel Benn.
That could be Nigel Benn. Remember, he was in that time where he was that's what I thought. I was saying, this guy's from Europe someplace.
You just saw Nigel Benn fight this morning.
Yeah.
You just saw a guy in there with Carrera sunglasses from back in the day, man. That's what the style.
I wonder who paid for those.
Yeah, look at that. Just wow.
Oh, that was a puncher too.
Oh my gosh.
How about, what I missed? No logos, no sponsors. Let's just get in there. Let's fight.
Yeah.
Just to do it.
That was a bad piece.
Right.
No names on the trunks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's part of the business. That's what
Part
you
of
need.
the business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can't get mad at it.
No.
I'll be rocking my N1 shorts.
So here's just when I was fighting for Don King, and you have sponsors that want put your name on your trunks, that want to put their name on your trunks. But Don King said, hey, I ain't getting no part of that. It's my show. And he would make sure that you couldn't wear.
That's the Dana White effect right there.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure he got it.
Yeah,
from,
you couldn't
from
wear.
Don
You
King.
couldn't wear sponsors because you said, "Where's my money?"
Yeah,
it's my show. Where's my money? Which makes sense too. It's his show, and you're making money. He's paying you already.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so.
That's a Don King only in America.
Yeah, only in America.
Great round.
Here we go.
Great fight.
What would this be? 140.
147.
Oh, wow, great hook.
147.
This is Corte?
Corte. Out of Ghana, Africa, I believe. The same place as Zuma Nelson.
They make some good fighters.
De La Hoya is just a monster at this point, right?
Yeah. Here's the Oscar, just comes forward.
And here's the whole thing about Oscar De La Hoya is the whole, like, I grew up watching this guy, right? Mm-hmm. This was Jordan to me. This was Michael Jordan to me. And, you know, it's just hard to see how he's changed so much, like his personality, just who he is as a person, what he presents. Because, man, this guy he's not on anybody's wall right now. You know, that's just the whole thing of, it's hard to promote, it's hard to back a guy like that, even though he's been through so many great fights, classic fights, you know, it can be erased, you know?
Yeah, I think sometimes, wow. That was a great hook.
But he's one of the guys that fought everyone, too.
Again, that's what I'm saying. He was Michael Jordan in my eyes when just growing up in the 90s and all that.
Good hook.
And that's why we tell people, well, I would get told this, is boxing is just a chapter in your life. You still have to, you know, keep living afterwards and still be a different, don't be the same person. Yeah. But you still have to have character and you know, so people can, look up to you. But just the things that he's done, it just kind of hurt his reputation. But, you know, he's still promoting fights and still doing well. But
I just keep thinking he's playing the game right now, right? Like he's just playing
at
the social media game.
At this point, yeah. I mean, what I like about him is that at least he owns up to everything, you know? I mean, he did that documentary that came out was pretty crazy, but I mean, now what's there to hide, you know?
Yeah.
It's all out there.
Yeah, he put everything out there, yeah.
Which is freeing, you know, for your mentality. But
been watching his Clapback Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty creative stuff.
Good jab.
Yeah.
Now, we were saying Oscar's a left-hander, right? Fighting as an orthodox fighter.
Yeah, you know, that's I would say 90% of his knockouts were with the left hook or left uppercut. But
it's the strongest hand, right?
Yeah, so he just has his strong hand in front.
There's a lot of gyms right now doing that with their fighters. They, you know, who haven't fought before, they're coming in orthodox and they're flipping them southpaw just because of the advantages that a southpaw has in a fight.
You have advantage, and I think this may be why Oscar. I'm not sure why, but if you're a southpaw, guys, people don't want to fight you because they're just so awkward and so different that it's hard to get fights for you if you're a southpaw. But I think that's why they switched Oscar to right hand, because it would be tough for him to get fights.
And he was fighting orthodox in the Olympics.
Yeah,
you know, so that must have been real early.
Yeah, I think it was early on. Or the trainer just said, you know what, I want to train you as a right-hander because it's awkward to train you as a lefty. Yeah. But it worked for him.
Oh, good hook.
Great time hook.
It's back in Mandalay Bay, man, back in the day.
Yep.
Great fight. Two Mexican warriors right here.
They fought, how many times did they fight? 2 or 3 times?
I think 20 times.
Yeah.
It seems that way 20 times, right? But
so check this out. These guys, I think they fought 3 times. I think they fought 3 times, and they've had awards together at the Hall of Fame and different places where they always. Just the last few months ago, I was in Atlantic City for the Hall of Fame. Not Atlantic City, up in New York for the Hall of Fame, and they brought these 2 guys up to recognize them as the round of the year or round of the decade or fight of the decade. These guys get up at the podium. They don't even look at each other. They don't even say hi to each other. They hate each other.
Wow. Still to this day.
To this day. And whatever it was, they were saying stuff during the fight, but Barrera they would not. They don't even look at each other. They don't even acknowledge each other or shake hands.
Yeah.
Wow. They stay away from it. It's like, wow.
See, everyone else that's coming out, you know, out of retirement to fight, I'll watch this again.
For sure.
Bring him out right now. Put him in Market Square and let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Morales, man, just a monster.
Yep.
Jeez.
Fiesta fights.
But Barrera being the
fights.
Barrera being the more technical fighter and clean and
very technical fighter.
Very technical.
But Morales, man, you can't.
He's a
Just
beast.
all heart.
Yep.
Can't rule him out. For that size too, man, just to have that dog in you.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
But there's
Damn,
a lot
look
of
at that.
pride too, right on
Those
both
angles.
sides.
It's Mexican
Angles.
pride right there, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
look at that exchange.
This is back in the day of
He's-
the Mexican greats, you know.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
I can hear people yelling, "Vámonos,
Yep.
Damn.
pégale la panza."
I'm telling you, man, these guys, I find it so funny that they don't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
They just stand next to each other and don't even acknowledge each other. It's sad because they had such great fights.
Yeah. Man.
It's got to be really hard to hold a grudge like that
I
after
know.
sharing so many rounds.
Damn.
Yep.
Well, and they made some good money together too. So I mean, this was
Yeah.
a moment in time for
You
them.
think about it, they're famous and they're the icons that they are because they fought each
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
other. So they have each other to thank for, right? But not these guys.
I think sometimes when you meet your equal, you had to fight 3 times or whatever to see who was the best one. That can do a lot to you, right? Like, oh, so you were especially as a fighter. Oh, so you're equal to me? Like we're the same?
I'm better than you.
That Mexican,
Especially as
it's that
Mexican.
Mexican pride.
Yeah. Damn,
I
great
get
fight.
that, but I also think that's somebody who really maybe hasn't mentally matured just yet to look back at
Yeah.
it reflectively and say, "Hey, all right, man, you know,
Maybe it just doesn't like,
yeah,
just doesn't like him.
It would be like me still hating Azuma Nelson after 4 fights.
was it 4 or 5?
4.
4 or 5.
5's coming up.
That's right.
Another Mexican great.
Round 1. This has got to be round 1, right?
Yeah, HBO Sports
Classic
back in the
round,
day.
right?
Yep, there it is.
I remember rushing home from dinner just to watch this fight, just because we knew we had to watch this fight.
When Pacquiao brought the flames out with the No Fear sponsor, it's a death sentence.
That's this the 3 knockdown. Is this the fight?
This is the 3 knockdown
the 3
round. right
knockdown in
here.
the first round.
And he still came back and got a draw.
And,
I'm
got a
telling
draw.
I've said this so many times that he probably won all the fights that they had.
I mean, after that,
He had 3 knockdowns in the first round against them. Comes back in the fight, makes it a draw.
Yeah.
you tell me who won that.
Yeah. You tell me who had the better rounds.
That's true.
There was I think after the 4th fight, after
So in other words, he
Marquez?
won most of the rounds in the
Marquez.
fight. He just had those points against him in the first round. Yeah.
after the first round, it was a 3 rounds to none. And he came back and draw.
Yeah, come back and make it a draw.
But I think after the 4th fight, when Marquez finally dropped Pacquiao, he was wearing a shirt that said Marquez won 3 times.
Wow.
3 out of the 4 fights.
Kind
Like himself, he was wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ironically, he's one of my favorite fighters, Marquez. Just love his boxing style, the way he fought, and all
His
the great fights
combinations.
with everything, right? And I finally got to meet him
Wow.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
I met him 2 weeks ago
For the first time?
For the first time.
Wow.
And he told me he loved my fights with Azuma Nelson. He says, all your fights with Azuma Nelson,
That's
great fight.
awesome.
It was cool because he's my favorite fighter.
He's my favorite fighter.
Yeah, just the
He broke a barrier in Mexican boxing that was just, he was boxing. He wasn't going after these guys with just
Look at this.
raw emotion. He was putting combinations together.
Yep.
Again, that left hand.
The faint 1-2.
And this is right before, prime Pacquiao.
And look at that legendary referee in the Joe Cortez.
Classic fight for anybody who hasn't seen it. Not just this round, but the fight itself.
The whole fight, yeah.
Being composed, right?
Was this kind of like Pacquiao's coming out fight?
I would say this is the.
And this is round one.
I mean, he earned that fight, right? But
fight.
Still, I would say this is the coming out.
No, it was when he fought a world champion as a replacement.
Oh yeah,
and demolished the guy.
Oh yeah.
But even then, this right here, you're taking it to Marquez, Mexican great, dropping him 3 times in the first round. You're there, you know. Dang. 1-2s is just 1-2s.
You know, people may not know this about Pacquiao, is that he started fighting at 106 pounds and went up all the way to 154, I believe.
Wow.
Now his wallet weighs 106 pounds.
Yeah, but
and he's all natural.
Yeah, and he's exactly my height, and 106 pounds to 154 pounds, and what was he? 8-time world champion.
Still dropping guys.
Yep.
Damn.
Marquez has no quit in him, man.
He doesn't even look defeated.
No.
Any other fighter goes
down. He broke
down
his nose that first round too.
Yeah.
Fighting 11 more rounds with a broken nose.
Broken nose, right?
Small bump on the road. How do we get out of this thing?
Fight mentality, right? You're not done till you're done.
Yep.
Fighting 11 more rounds with a broken nose.
Imagine going into that second round. You just went down 3 times that first round. You know, the mentality for that.
Yeah.
They got to bring no fear back. Man.
Here's the whole thing. You think Freddie Roach trained Pacquiao to do that? Or you think that was just Pacquiao? You know what I mean? Who do you credit that to?
Right there.
Yeah,
Philippines.
That's just his mentality. You don't teach that type of stuff. You can't.
Great round 2. This is another one.
It's like teaching a horse to be tough. You can't teach a horse to be tough.
Yeah.
They're either tough or they're not.
Castillo and Corrales right here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, so I love this fight. I mean, it's a great fight, and I knew both of those guys. I know Castillo really well. Funny guy. But
great hook.
Yeah, just
Damn,
a great hook. But so what happens in this fight, and people don't know it, he spit out his mouthpiece 3 times in this fight to get the rest, extra rest. Now if you do that, it's a disqualification.
Is it?
But so he did it, and to buy time, see?
Yeah.
Now he gets to recover a little bit, and that makes a big difference. Because if not, Castillo would have been all over him and stopped him. But this is something with Dan Goose. I think is a trick. If you get hurt, spit your mouthpiece out.
Yeah.
They used
tricks,
it.
Yeah.
Now it's a suspension. I mean now you disqualified. But he did it 3 times. I think he's just
probably one of the first times referee Tony Weeks has seen something like that. You know?
His mouthpiece is out, but he used the rules. And
someone's got to be the first one to do it.
Yeah. Where's my mouthpiece? I need my mouthpiece. I'm just going to rinse it out. You get another 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Helps a lot. Especially when a guy's ready to come and knock you out.
Yeah.
So this helped him so much to be able to come back.
You got an extra, 10 seconds there?
No, it's a lot more. It's like 30 seconds.
So the clock's still going.
Look at that.
They didn't stop the clock at all.
Oh, the clock is still going. Wow.
You know, the opponent's just like, come on, man.
You see if he does it again, right? Does he get knocked down 3 times?
Yep.
Damn. I think maybe this is the turnaround here.
There it is.
This is a turnaround?
Yeah. I thought he got a point taken away.
Oh, yeah, it's the 10th round already.
The hook.
Yeah.
Damn.
Man, cue up the Rocky music.
Now, this is always a controversial call, right? Where you see Castillo not go down.
Yeah. And they stopped it. Whether it's fast or not, early or not. I mean, the ref sees something that we don't get to see, you know.
He's got the
or
best
hear the punch that we don't hear. Boom.
Look at that. That's I
mean, that's early. I think
it's early, but
I mean,
his hands were down.
Yeah.
He had no response. His eyes were probably glazed over.
And again, his responsibility is to the fighter.
Yeah.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
He was out. He was out on his feet.
Sadly, I don't know how long after this, but because Corrales dies in a motorcycle accident. Yeah. I forgot how long after this was. Maybe a few years.
This is probably one of the most referenced rounds for boxing, right? Just for not giving up, not quitting.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, everyone knows Diego Corrales. He ain't fought me though.
Yeah. Man.
135, right?
Yeah,
I love to see, you know, can't help but think about matchups from old school, new school.
Yeah.
These are, I don't know if this is 140 or 135, because these guys are huge for 135.
Maybe 140, yeah.
They were tall. Because
Corrales was fighting at 135
he's
at
probably
that height.
5'10", maybe 5'9", 5'10".
I think the technique can't be matched though. Like it's like any other sport, like we had said before.
Mm-hmm.
You have better athletes right now, right? Mm-hmm. But the technique behind your sport is kind of deteriorating. Like basketball, football, like all this stuff is just like basketball. The game's changed so much.
Yeah,
you had to be a well-rounded two-way player, and now, you know, they're highlighting you if you're a two-way player.
Now you stand out if you're a two-way player. Back
exactly.
then,
you had to be.
Boom.
You know,
like Jordan.
I mean, his glove. Look, you could see his head going back. That angle. That was a really great angle, and the referee did the right thing there.
They say sometimes as a boxer you're too tough for your own good.
Look at that. Yeah. He was out already. Wow. Yeah. Amazing.
Great fighter.
Yeah.
Both are. They're both great fighters.
This is Frazier.
Ali.
This was in 2000 and just kidding.
Yeah.
I think this could have been 72 or 74.
These guys fought how many times?
I think
Frazier, Ali,
they fought 3 times.
Yeah.
And see, what I see here is like Frazier's kind of looking like a Tyson Fury, kind of like one of those bruisers, right? Like a even like a Wilder, right?
No, more like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, coming forward, power punches.
Frazier was the boxer.
And then you saw Ali kind of, not in this fight, but you saw Ali kind of bring to the heavyweight division footwork, right? Like
and movement, speed.
The mind games.
Definitely. Can't say I've seen this round.
If this fight wasn't, I think this is the fight that was, if this was in Thrilla, Manila, if that's the fight, it was 116 degrees and they were outside.
Wow.
And the humidity was 90 or 85 or 90.
Dang.
At the end of the fight, these guys were both in the hospital for like a week trying to recover from that fight.
You know they weren't taking no electrolyte powder.
No Powerade or
Gatorade
or anything like that.
They're drinking water from the water hose.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all it is. That's all you need. That's all you need right there.
They didn't even give him water.
Yeah.
No water. You got to earn
That's
it.
the difference. That's the difference. You know, we didn't have the nutrition. Oh, they didn't have the nutrition.
Yeah. Ali was running in boots.
Yeah, he would run in combat boots. Now we need the best Nikes or
Flyknits.
Schlatskis. Sauconys.
What made this round so great? Why are we watching this now? Like, why? What do you think?
Well, it's that
the build up,
the pit bull against the Great Dane, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm too busy looking at the ref's hair right now.
Yeah,
I'm jealous of it.
Yeah, that's what's his name? The famous ref. What's
He's got a little bit of that Solis.
Yep. That mustache
Solis
too,
hair.
man.
Solis, he looks at the color. That is the mark.
His hair is blacker than his tie.
Yep.
Bow tie. Dang.
Hey, good set of hair that guy has.
Yeah. Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Man, look at these guys. There's just, and again, this is probably another, wide world of sports event.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And think about it too. It's the styles. Styles make fights.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect 2 styles together.
The Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard type fight.
That's why you tune in.
Which is better, the slugger or the boxer? Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield type fight.
Mm-hmm.
How did this? Again, they fought 3 times. It's hard to figure out which fight this one was, but
I think it's the Manila one, and that way it was.
Who won the majority of the fights?
Ali. I think Frazier won the first one. Ali won the next 2.
There's Angelo.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say I've seen this.
I haven't seen this one either.
Just off the bat, just me not seeing this fight. First look, you have a boxer against a guy who's coming in with power, right? You have one guy who wants to establish a jab, the other guy who's just swinging away. Where in the first round here,
The Nike guy is trying to.
I bet the Nike guy finds
him. Trying to just counter with something.
I bet he's gonna knock the other guy out.
It looks like he's trying to counter, right? A mistake.
Yeah,
looks that way.
I bet he does. I've never seen this.
Me either.
What do you want to bet?
I bet you
a Zito's
sandwich.
Okay. I think Blue Trunks is gonna knock this guy out.
That's what I'm thinking. But yeah.
Just by the look of it. There's the change right there, right? Pace of the fight just changed right now. I could be wrong, though.
Good defense.
Because he looks like an experienced guy going against a guy who doesn't have experience.
Yeah.
This is kind of how you work with a guy who's not at your level. You're not really avoiding punches.
Let them expend some energy and some...
He's calm.
Good right hand.
Yeah. Again, it could be wrong, though.
Oh, see that body shot?
So if you're an older, crafty kind of veteran fighter, you just let this young guy kind of just expend himself.
He did not measure. He didn't figure it out. He didn't download anything. He just went right for it.
Well, he wants to make a statement, right? So he wants to fight to end quick. But
sometimes your best chance is just to try to go in and try to knock him out early, because you can't keep up with that experience or the technique or whatever. If that's what's going to happen, we don't know.
This is how it looks.
Have one guy throwing a lot of punches, one guy setting up his punches. Good defense.
Walking him down.
And he throws that right hand to the body. Every once in a while, he throws a right hand to the body. Let's see if he comes up to the top. Good defense. Let's see if he throws that right hand to the body again. Or he's going to go to the head. There's a right hand to the body. Let's see if he does it to the head. It's just the thing you set up things for 2 or 3 rounds maybe. Maybe 5, 6 rounds. Then you try to catch him to the head.
Something has to happen this round because...
yeah, it's the round of the...
Doesn't look that exciting.
Yeah.
What does that corner pad say?
Yeah.
Someplace up in the Far East, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess.
Boom. There's that right hand to the head. Oh.
Look at that, man. Just great exchange.
Nothing?
I don't know if there's anything special about this round.
Come on now.
I don't know about that. Let's go top rank.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh,
Wanma.
Man.
Yeah, Wanma and with Pacquiao?
No, that's
Wanma.
Is that Pacquiao? Oh, that is Pacquiao.
That's not. That's Pacquiao, but that's
that's Wanma.
Wait. No, that's not.
Yeah, Juan Manuel Lopez.
Oh yeah.
That's not Pacquiao, is it?
No, because that's a righty. It looks like a righty version of Pacquiao.
Wow. It looks like Pacquiao right there.
Yeah. That's funny, right?
I'm gonna look.
That's a right hand.
Juan Manuel Lopez.
From Puerto Rico, right?
Great fighter.
Yeah.
I used to really watch him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Hands up, good defense. He has that good that Cotto. He has a little bit of that Cotto style hands up. Man, I could have put money on it if that was Pacquiao. Oh. See? Nice approach, right? Let's just go back to what we've been doing. What hurt him? Being calm, cool, calm, and collected.
He had a lot of fights that were just tough fights. And,
that was close.
He'd get dropped a few times.
Wow.
And he would always come back and win.
All right, I'm ready now. Come on, Rev.
I got him right where I want him now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good southpaw. Aggressive southpaw coming up.
He has that reach.
Distance.
There it is. Body shot.
Good body shot.
2 sluggers, both wearing pink.
Mm-hmm. You were saying that when you fought Camacho, y'all had pink gloves on, and it was harder to see under those lights, right?
Yeah, it's harder to see because just the background and everything else. It's hard to see with the lights.
Mm-hmm. See, I like seeing guys like that that are letting their hands
That was
go,
a
but
fight
with technique.
at Coney Island.
Yeah, Coney Island. It's a great night, though. It's a great night.
Great
of fights,
night.
right? Wasn't it?
Weather was perfect.
Yeah.
Good left hand.
I could still smell the Nathan dogs.
Yep.
Oh.
Wow. He just got caught standing up.
I'm telling you, he would always. There was a lot of fights that he would get dropped and always come back and win.
Yeah, suspect chin.
Yeah, he did.
Like a lot of my favorite fighters, man, they were just suspect chins. Like Jorge Linares, Juanma, just. Right on the chin of Pacquiao.
Where'd you come?
Pacquiao.
Pacquiao.
See, some of these fighters right here, like I would recommend other people watching, like just Juanma and, you know, these fighters that maybe would not be the most known fighters, but you can learn a lot from these guys, the technique behind it, the approach to the fight. These are the best top rank rounds.
Oh, is that what
That's what it is.
Ooh. See, for me, I would love to get into commentating boxing. I would love to get into that game. I just feel like I can do that. You know, I can tell you what I'm seeing. I can tell you who's leading, who's like, even though the guy's coming forward, everyone at home thinks the guy who's coming forward is winning, and it's not always like that.
That's right.
It's almost, you know.
Yeah.
And if he's going back, he's losing.
Well, this guy going back is losing this one. Yeah.
He's going back wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But who knows? This guy's just.
Catch him red.
Is that Nate in the ring?
Catch him red. Come on. Catch him red. Come on,
This
red.
guy can't last like that. He's only a minute into this round, fourth round. See, you see a guy expending punches like that, but he's not landing anything. It's like these, you know what I mean?
Come on, red.
Something's gonna happen.
So now, James, you're the guy on the receiving end taking all those punches. Like, what's going through your head? What are you trying to do? Survive?
Yeah, just trying to. I mean, the thing he should be doing is clinching and let the ref stop it. But you can't. You know, you punch like this. You're going 1-for-1 for the guy who's throwing a lot more than you are, and you're already stunned and hurt. You got to clinch and stop everything. Stop the action. Let the ref break it.
Yeah.
That way you get to recover a little bit.
Come on, Red.
You got to keep on doing this. You're running uphill the whole time and trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Look at that blood.
There you go. There you go. Come on, red.
For the people at home right there.
Come on, Craig. Come on, Craig.
So I call this being in punch debt.
So now you see the guy tiring out now, right? That he stopped all of a
You
sudden.
can't last that forever.
Something's gonna happen.
Good right hand.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good round. Declared a great round just because that guy didn't go down.
Yeah, yeah. There he comes. He's coming back.
Yep. Ooh.
Man, taking a beating.
Shout out to these guys. I don't know who they are, but
Yeah, no, they haven't said the names yet.
tough fight.
Two warriors, man.
Fights like this shorten careers.
Yeah.
That's probably why you don't know who they are
That's
right
why
now.
you don't. Yeah, I've never even seen.
That's
these
why I made the
guys.
highlight reel, though.
And not only that, they like if you beat a guy this way, you're gonna rely on this. You know what I mean? This is They say sometimes success is a bad teacher. You know?
Yeah, because you think that's what's gonna keep working for
I'm
you.
gonna do this against everybody.
Look at that. Look at his eyes. Face just.
Jeez.
How squared up he is.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's bad. It's for all that energy he's expending. He's not doing it. He's not accurate. Right? He
So
may
for as
land
many
something.
punches as he took that round, James, and he's like sitting down in his corner. I mean, he's just trying to regroup, right? Try to get it together.
Yeah.
But you're pretty much spent at that point.
You're hoping your heart rate drops enough for you to start the next round.
Yeah.
And more than likely it's not. But I mean, boxers are the best conditioned fighters.
Johnny Tapia.
Johnny Tapia
people in the world. And I'm sure his,
Johnny Tapia.
They got
Paulie
trained for
Ayala.
this. Yeah, Paulie Ayala.
Both from Albuquerque.
No, Paulie's from Fort
No,
Worth.
Who did?
Albuquerque is Johnny Tapia.
Who did he? Oh, that was Danny
Romero.
Danny Romero. Yeah, that was a
Kid
that was a
Dynamite?
Civil War.
Mm-hmm. And Paulie's from Fort Worth.
Johnny Tapia had a great career. He was he didn't lose, right? Like,
Well, he lost this one. He
lost his fight.
Yeah, he lost. I think they fought twice, maybe once, but Paulie beat him.
And then Gotti beat him. Didn't Gotti beat him too?
No. These guys, Paulie fought, I think 122, 125 maybe. But this could have been 115, 120, somewhere in there.
Who did Gotti fight? When you fought Bojado, wasn't Gotti on that same
He
card?
fought Doreen out of
Leonard
Canada.
Doreen, the body shot second round. Johnny Tapia.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Johnny Tapia is I always categorize him as an emotional boxer.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting off emotion,
Oh,
pure
yeah.
raw emotion. you
Every
know?
time.
We know some fighters like that.
Yeah.
Great technique too, but damn, like he's running on heart.
Good body shot.
Endless amounts of heart.
Yeah, he was a very tough guy.
It's like I tell fighters all the time, like some of the guys that come train with us, what's the scariest thing you've ever been? Like, what's the scariest situation you've ever been in? What's the scariest thing you've ever had to face? Is it really that guy on the other side of the ring? And Johnny Tapia, that just rings true. He's been through so many things. He was going through so many things in his life that guy is not scary to him. You know, that fight isn't scary to him.
Yeah, he went through so much.
Great documentary, HBO documentary called Tapia. If you want to know more
You need
about
to check
Johnny
it out,
Tapia,
man.
that's a
Thanks
great
for
one.
Tell me about that.
That's a great documentary.
But you always love to hear stories like that. People who just been through a lot, overcome it, find a way to do it.
And to an extent, you know, he kind of didn't. You know, just
But he always had those demons in his life for forever.
and he'll tell you in that documentary, that Tapia documentary, he was just trying to find his mom. You know, his mom got taken, murdered, I believe.
Yeah.
Young age, and he was young, and he was always just trying to find his mom.
Wow. It's hard to recover from that at a young age, or any age really, but
He would always say he's not worried about death because he'll be with his mom.
yeah.
You know. Great fighter.
Look at that.
It was a good fight.
He had a great career though.
He
That's
was-
Freddie Roach.
Freddie
Young
Roach,
Freddie
yeah.
Roach.
Yep.
That's Fred Roach. Before Freddie. Still on their feet.
He would come to San Antonio quite a bit and Tapia and hang out and just be around and just come to the gym and very nice guy.
Is it San Fernando?
Yeah, San Fernando gym.
Pick him up, Fred.
That's a guy you want. Like that's a guy you want in your stable. You know, your stable of fighters. That's a
Tapia?
yeah. You can hang your hat on that guy.
Imagine those sparring sessions.
Jeez.
Boom, boom, boom.
I'm taking a step back.
That's.
Come on.
That's awesome.
Driven by heart.
And Paulie has a gym in Fort Worth. He does a lot of amateur boxing for years now. He's been doing so much stuff with amateur boxing and has a great stable.
You like those good guys that come back and give
Yeah,
back.
just
you know?
he's just a really good guy.
And they're showing the whole thing. There you go. That's what it's all about right there.
It's Fred Roach.
Everybody just knows they gave it their all, right? This is
That's it right there. That's boxing.
yeah. We almost killed each other, but We're gonna respect each other.
I want to pick you up. I want to pick you up.
That's awesome. See, I don't see that in UFC. No one's picking anyone up. Look at that.
No, but they do congratulate each other a lot.
But that's different. That's a different type of
it's a different pickup.
love. It's a different type of love right there.
Yeah.
They just went how many minutes, in there going to war?
Minutes, 36 minutes.
Look at that.
They just took some months off their life, and there they are.
Jimmy Lennon.
Jim Gray. Look at Jim Gray in the back, trying to get that interview.
That's the voice of boxing right there, is Jimmy Lennon Jr.
I was going to say that. He's still the best voice of boxing.
You could do Michael Buffer, but, man, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
It's a classic voice.
Classic voice. One of a kind.
His dad was a ring announcer for the old, he used to do boxing, but when I was a kid, I used to watch Lucha Libre from the Municipal Auditorium or Olympic Auditorium in L.A., and his dad was the announcer for that, ring announcer. And it was Jimmy Lennon.
It would come down from the
top. Yeah.
Like
And he had similar cadence, similar style to Jimmy Lennon Jr. It was really cool.
Say Party won that fight.
Wow.
That's what it looks like.
He didn't believe it, man. That's the hard part about boxing is you can do that, you can win and be happy.
What's that feeling like right there?
Man, it's a feeling like I can't wait to get out of here and go and eat a Whataburger.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Go eat a Whataburger.
Yeah.
But it's hard. Same thing. It's hard because that's so short lived. Because then you got to get ready for the next guy, and he's supposed to be tougher. It's that's the sport of boxing. Right? You win one, and then you got to get ready for the next one.
Yeah, but you got better. You elevated.
It's like I just won this big fight. Now all the training camp. It's mainly training camp stuff that you're so happy it's over with. The fight, I always tell people, the fight's just one day, 36 minutes. You've been training for 3 or 4 months every single day for this fight, and that's where all the, where everything comes out at the end.
That's why we always talk about you're not getting paid to fight, you're getting paid to make weight.
You get paid to train and make weight.
Yeah.
Man, they're really showing this whole thing.
The fight's just another workout.
Look at that.
That was before the fight, I'm sure.
You got to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
James, in the very few losses you had, did you just try to put those behind you?
No,
just move
not
on?
at all. I try to learn from them. So I would make sure I would study those fights and figure out what I did wrong, so I wouldn't do it again. Right. But sometimes, people are just better. Sometimes. Yeah. Oscar was just better. Shane Mosley was just better. Azuma Nelson was just better that one time on our third fight. Some guys are just better, and you're not going to be 100% every fight. Just like I always tell people, how do you, Tim Duncan or Michael Jordan, whoever, they only scored 10 points in one game. What happened? They just didn't have it. Sometimes you just don't have it that day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a bad day at the office, and it's tough when it's a fight.
Yeah.
That's what they say with Mayweather. Like, you can pick your opponent all you want, but you still got to be good that day. You still got to perform.
You got to show up.
When you're in an auto accident, you shouldn't be concerned with legal runarounds, just real advice. You deserve an attorney ready to work for you, an attorney that won't back down.
My parents are from the west side of San Antonio, and they taught me the value of hard work and fighting for what is right.
Raul B. Rodriguez and his team care about ensuring you and your family are represented, whether on the road or in the workplace. Raul is real, and Raul won't back down. Call 210-899-0300 to schedule a free consultation.
Well, there's a lot that goes into during the camp, right? Trying to make weight.
Yeah, and not only that, you get injured. Yeah. You have you pay a guy to come and give you his best when you spar for 3 months, and he's coming out to give you his best, and he's trying to hurt you. And sometimes you get hurt. You have a bad elbow, bad rib, bad nose, but whatever. Something happens. There's not many fighters that fight 100%. So there's always an injury somewhere. Yeah. You're hitting bags every single day. Hitting bags, double in bag, running. You could trip and turn your ankle, and you have to deal with that during the fight. A lot of things happen.
And even during training, there's guys right now at our gym that are like, well, I keep sparring the same guy. When are you going to bring in new guys? And I'm like, well, you haven't taken care of this guy yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you need a new guy? Yeah. This guy's getting you work every time. Yeah. You need somebody new? Take this guy out.
Right.
Like why is he still there hanging with you? So
when you're ready, I'll call Mark Solis. So he'll teach you something.
Yeah.
He'll learn you something.
I'll learn you something.
But that's the thought, right? It's like, you don't need all these different sparring partners, all these different styles. You're gonna fight one guy that night, right? And the guy who's continuously sparring you is gonna challenge you because he's picking up on you too. Yeah. Oh, okay. He likes to throw that right hand this way, and it doesn't land after a while. So then that guy's challenging you to come up with something new. It's like playing
creative.
Yeah, get creative. It's like playing 1-on-1 every day with the same guy. He's gonna catch up. Like he's gonna figure you out.
Right.
But if you keep bringing in somebody new, you can keep using the same old tricks, and you don't have to develop anything. And so that's the whole thing.
You're not developing your craft at that point.
Yeah.
You're not
and
sharpening
that's
your
why
skills.
fighters hire sparring partners, because 2 or 3 sparring partners are there to figure you out and try to make you get creative and get better at fighting them.
Who was the best sparring partner you had?
Probably Golden Johnson.
Yeah.
I
24 karat.
24 karat Golden Johnson. I had him when he came in at 19 years old against my first fight with the Zuma Nelson, and he was so good. He also fought Shane Mosley and was Margarito. He fought everybody. Great fighter and very tough. And we used him for the rest of. We helped each other get ready for fights for the rest of my career.
And he would scout the opponent pretty well too, man.
Well, he would try to copy you would try to imitate the fighter you're fighting.
Right.
But just him being himself was tough enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's a skill alone. Being able to look at somebody, emulate, and then bring it and use it in sparring, right? Mm-hmm. Think about that. Like, you're getting hit too, right? But you're not just going to what you know. You're trying to be this.
Right.
That's a skill. And those guys they're not a dime a dozen. Right. Those guys are the rare guys that they're seeing somebody and they're here to help you out. Yeah.
It's like me coming in and trying to be a different fighter, and now I have to spar someone else being a different fighter. I'm gonna get hit too because I'm not used to being that different fighter. But some guys can pick it up right away.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we finished the end of the compilation of like the best rounds of boxing.
Yeah. Top
ranked rounds of boxing. That's the whole thing of there's been such great boxing across the generations. Mm-hmm. For me personally, as a boxing person, as a boxing fanatic, as a guy who's in the gym every day, who lives, eats, and breathes boxing, I really hope that some of that little element that they had back in the 80s and 90s, early 90s comes back, right? Yeah. So it's that pure boxing element of not the, I don't want to see the tail of the tape and know how many Instagram followers you got. I don't care about that. Who really cares, right? Like, I want to know how you fight. I want to know your game. And we see a lot of guys doing that, and a lot of opportunities coming to guys with just a good social media following instead of the actual chops to box. Yeah. And that's kind of diluting the sport, in my opinion. I really hope that comes back. Like these classic fights that we saw from back in the day, it's technique, it's heart, it's will, right? And you kind of don't see that as much right now. Yeah, it is there, but it's not highlighted as much, I really hope that element comes back to boxing.
I was just about to say, I don't think Hagler cared about how many likes he had.
Yeah, right.
That wasn't part of the game back then.
Yeah.
It wasn't right now, I would say as a promotional company, if you have a promotional boxing company, you want to sign the guy that's going to promote himself, right? You want to sign the guy who's going to go out and do these little things, podcasts, who's going to do all this extracurricular stuff, right? But I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, I would still want the guy who's busting his ass in the gym, who doesn't care about any of that stuff, who only is doing this one thing. So it's kind of it's a weird one.
From a business standpoint, though, it's tough because if you're the promoter, you're getting money from one of the networks or some streaming service. You have to deliver a product, right? You got to kind of sell that. If you're the streaming service, you go on people to kind of watch it. So, you want to get somebody that maybe has a lot of followers and can do the podcasts and interviews all over the place. It's the business is tough right now.
I think it's hard because it's not uniform, much like UFC, right? Like they've monopolized they've monopolized the whole
mixed martial
business
arts.
Of it. Yeah, like MMA, but UFC in particular, they're
the brand.
They're the brand you want to be a part of, right? Yeah. And there isn't anything like that in boxing. It's the Wild West.
Right.
You have a promotional company, you gotta sell it to me. He's got a promotional company, you gotta sell it to me, right?
Right.
And if you like what they're trying to do with the Riyadh season, right? The Saudis, they're trying to bring everybody together, buy everybody up, and make it one monopolized business, right? Just like the UFC is with MMA. Right. They have other things, just Pride. There's all these other Fury, all this other stuff, but UFC is the brand you want to be a part of.
Yes.
So in my hopeful thinking, boxing could use something like that.
You think the Saudis trying to make a brand?
I mean, I don't know, but I would hope they are. I would hope it would be something like that.
I mean, they certainly they got the deep pockets to make it happen. I mean, and they're producing some awesome shows. I mean, the excitement I think they bring to it, aside from the fights are good, but everything else that comes associated with that whole package, it's pretty exciting stuff.
Like, you only got to really buy out how many promotional companies. You got Golden Boy, Top Rank.
That was the speculation that they were going to do is, oh, you need how much? $1 billion? Oh, here you go. That's my lunch money. Yeah. So that apparently that's what they want to do is kind of just eliminate all the promoters and make it a UFC style of entertainment.
Because the fighters didn't change the game.
Right.
The business changed, right? Yeah. Who's in charge of the business of boxing? Promoters, right? Streaming services to an extent, right? But that's the whole thing of who's gonna bring all this together.
Well, everything's changed. A lot of it. I mean, it used to be the live gate. That was it, and then you would pay money to go see it on closed circuit someplace at a venue, and then cable TV came in. So now you've got, and the granddaddy of them all was HBO Sports. They had the brand. And every fight that HBO Sports had was a major event. And they'd come into your town, and it was the UFC coming to town, basically. The WWE. It was big with their whole production. And, that was at more than a decade. I can't tell you how many years they existed, but now you kind of see it. When HBO said they were getting out of the game, I was like, oh, God, this is
tough.
That did change a lot.
It changed the entire business landscape of it.
And then Showtime followed.
Showtime, yeah.
But Showtime wasn't HBO. It was just,
it
was great. They had
tried.
Great fights.
They tried. They just couldn't do it. Just HBO had the brand. They were first. It's kind of like Starbucks with coffee. It's kind of like Apple with, they were first. And so it was the brand. And it's hard to knock out the brand.
Yeah.
Now, and then you have, PBC, it's doing a nice, admirable job. They ended up buying a lot of television time on different networks.
They filled a gap. They did fill a gap that was needed.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad thing that they came and saw, hey, you know what, you need this on NBC. You need this on like daytime television. You need all this, right? It's like Wild World of Sports. You needed that. Yeah. It did fill a gap for the people who couldn't see it, who aren't going to pay pay-per-view prices.
The problem, though, with PBC was that you would get these big name fighters, and then they match them up with taxi drivers or tomato cans. Yeah. So that was the problem. Is they would dilute. They would give you the fights because of the marketing scheme, but they wouldn't. What's the quality in the ring? And
I tell people, I said, listen, if there's a fight in your town, go see it, man. Go support it. And hopefully it's a good card. Just go see it. It's like I tell people at concerts, well, why can't we get this artist to come here, that artist, to come to our town? Well, when there's artists like that, go support them, and you build it that way.
Yep.
As it is now, we're seeing the big fights. They're either in Las Vegas. It's rarely they're out of Vegas, or they're now happening overseas. That's where the money's at this point.
I just want boxing to be in the place where we can go. The family will come over. You smell that barbecue cooking, a mile away. We're in the garage with the TV in there with the neon lights. That's old school right there.
Yeah, it's old school.
That's how it used to be, man, and we miss that.
Yeah, hopefully they can get back to that. Hopefully the Saudis can clean it up a little bit. They're the only ones that are seeming like they're really trying to do it. We don't seem, all of us over here don't seem to have a problem with anything. But boxing has to compete with UFC, WWE, all these things, all these businesses that seem so uniform, that seem so well put together. And boxing's the Wild West out here, right? Where do you watch boxing?
At home.
But it could be anywhere, right? It's all these streaming services,
sometimes on my phone.
Yeah, it's either DAZN or whatever, right? Where, you want to have it uniform. You want to just be able to know, okay, I'm going to watch boxing this weekend. It's on this app or whatever, and hopefully they can clean it up a little bit.
I hope so. it's an exciting sport to see live. It truly is, and there's nothing quite like it. What I remember from the big fights, and I was fortunate to go to a lot that your dad participated in over in Las Vegas, it was nothing like that. It was exciting. People would get dressed up. It was a big deal. And even here in San Antonio, some of the big fights here. I mean, you know, the fight at the Alamo Dome.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a great poster.
It's a great poster. It's a great fight card. 65,000 people there, but people dressed up for that. That was an event, and we had people all the way to the top. $10 tickets.
That was a month-long event.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost like, you know, March Madness lead up to it. You know, it was exciting stuff, and people came from all over the U.S., really all over Mexico to see that fight as well too. So, but again, people got dressed up. You know, it was exciting. All great, you know, great fights.
Hey, that's why we got to do it. That's why we got to do it. We just got to put a fight together, put a good fight card together, and make it a nice night out. Right?
Yeah, nice night.
We got to do that.
Well, we'll go to Dean's. Let's go to Dean's garage, hang out with
doghouse.
Leon. The doghouse.
But when you go in, you don't walk out. You crawl out.
You don't walk out the same time. Guys, thanks for joining us and watching these classic rounds. You know, we love boxing. We're boxing all day. You know, hopefully we can bring you some more content with boxing. There's a big fight coming up. We'll be bringing it to you. Maybe we can see one live after a while. You never know, right? You never know what this turns into. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leija Lounge Season 2, we're in it. Stay tuned for the next one.